Yeah. Yeah, we need three. Your trees.
Gotta be.
In 1 minute.
Not quite. Not quite. We gotta wait till 9:30. Formalities, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Even if that seat wasn't laying there.
Now I'm ready.
Okay.
Morning, everybody. Hey, real quick before you start, we got a pretty busy study session, so I don't think we're gonna run over, but when your time's up, I'm gonna call you out. We gotta be done. So we got about 6 or 7 things to go through this morning.
I'm concise. I'll get right to it. So I'm Cindy Montgomery with the Dickinson County Conservation District. I'm the district manager. We have a band of unrulies over here. Nick Fife is our chairman this year. Dennis Chartier is our treasurer. Francis Anderson is vice chair. Darren Amy is a member. Craig Chamberlain's a member. And then our supervisor of district conservationist is Adam Elliott, and he's here with us today. So we are once again requesting just the same budget allocation we did for the last 3 years. Through expense reduction and by receiving other incentive dollars throughout the year, we've been able to operate within that funding model for the past 3 years, and think we'll be able to do so again. Those initiatives, by the way, I know you guys had a question about any carryover that we would have year to year, and those initiatives that we've been able to pursue and get are part of the large part of our carryover every year. So we're in 2025, for example. Our expenses were $74,000 and our income was about 126. But of that $52,000 difference that carried over from year to year, almost 33,000 of that was from initiatives for like canvas raising, land enhancement initiative that don't have to be implemented until either 2026 or 2027. So that those funds stay in our account year over year until the projects are complete. And then the remainder of those carryover funds generally come from incentive programs that aren't guaranteed year over year. So things like cover crop initiatives through ADM and Farmers for Soil Health. They pay us an initiative to help them promote cover crops every year, but those funds aren't guaranteed. So one year it might be $2,000 and one year it might be $3,000 or $4,000 that the district recognizes through those programs. Because of that, because it's not guaranteed, we are really careful to structure our budget to stay under our stable sources of income, like Kansas Aid conservation districts, and then the county funds. So in 2025, we were able to distribute over $100,000 directly to 19 different landowners for conservation projects. That improved over 700 acres of land and prevented 3,100 tons of soil as an estimate from eroding into ditches and waterways. And that helped reduce county road maintenance costs. We also learned just over the last few weeks that we are getting another $10,000. It's actually already in our account in funding that we're going to facilitate a program to get rid of tree lines that go between county roads or township roads and neighboring lands to kind of reduce the cost of you guys having to do side lashing to keep those trees from going into, but also to improve the grazing lands and the croplands. And that we got $10,000, and we're going to pursue maybe through like the energy companies to see if they would be willing to kind of come in with us on that and to get those trees out of the power lines too while we're doing it. So this year we were recognized as part of the 90/90 Club. It was given to only 10 out of 105 conservation districts. So we spent over 90% of the money that we have allocated through the water plan or the water fund, and we're able to get over $90,000 implemented in conservation work that went direct to landowners, not to our administrative costs. And there was only 10 of us that did that this year. So if you look at the $40,000 that you provide to us last year, conservatively, just going by what we put in with $100,000 and our state aid to conservation districts, most of which are spent here in the county, Your investment is more than double. But if you consider all of the other programs that we help implement or provide administrative services for, that's over $1 million in payments direct to local landowners, which means you get almost $41 of investment out of every $1 that you put in. So with that, I would open it up to questions. If you have anything for us this year. Anybody besides me would be okay too?
Yeah.
So is the level of participations remain constant, or are you gaining a little ground, losing a little ground?
We are gaining ground. We had 45 applications last year for cost share, and we were able to get 19 contracts in the ground. This year, we're up to 52 that are applying for this year, which our cost share year runs weird. It runs from July 1st to June 30th. So we're always operating on just a little bit of a different time frame than you guys do. But yeah, we have 52 applications right now that are trying to get either waterways, terraces, abandoned well pluggings, which are pretty important, or on-site waste systems. Those are our bread and butter. But yeah, it continues to go up.
I've been able to attend to your banquet
Yeah.
in recent years and really appreciate it, but it seems to highlight a lot of great things happening that you can recognize people. And I don't know, in your youth program, do you want to say anything about that as far as the poster contest and so on, getting?
We have some of the best kids in the world that do these poster contests because they don't have to do it. And we get a lot of entries that don't come directly through the school. So it'll be homeschool groups or individual kids whose parents did the program who want to continue and do the poster contest, see if they win like the dad did, you know. It becomes this thing year over year. But we were able to do, I think, 160 entries this year from all the schools. And I spoke to, we were at a convention yesterday with all the other district managers, and I spoke to them, and they averaged 30 to 40 entries if they're lucky, most of the counties, because we're in such rural areas that they only have maybe 1 or 2 schools where we have 5 or 6. So we have a good participation in the county because of that. Yeah.
And probably most everyone here knows, but I mean, it's a contest by age groups, and then the drawings they do and so on, they're printed off and they use them as placemats, and
we get
everybody can gather some and look at them. And
we get a theme every year that's National Association of Conservation Districts puts the theme out, and then we go through and we do it at the local level, and then it goes up to state level, and the state winner goes up to the national level. And I think we did have a winner last year in Kansas that went up to the national level. But it's a big nationwide thing, and the kids just love it. This year, the theme was, not home is where the habitat is. That was the year before. Soil where it all begins. And I learned more about worms than I ever wanted to know. Apparently, kids think of soil and they think of worms. That's the way it works. But yeah, that's okay. It's called vermicomposting if you want to know talking about worms. Yeah.
So my second here, so forgive me if I'm asking the wrong question. I see 24's budget, is 25 available?
Audit.
Well, no, 24 ending is what's in this document, 25.
Yeah, it should have been in that packet.
I mean, I assume you're running things just fine. I mean, I looked at your ending cash statement, operations fund budget statement. I don't know what you'd call that.
25, 26, and 27.
Yeah, the actual balance sheet only, I think you call it your balance sheet, only shows 2024.
I think which.
That would be.
Okay.
Yeah, our 2025 audit goes to them in June. So, yeah, we wouldn't have that back yet. I see what you're saying.
See what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
We haven't gotten our audit numbers back from that. It won't be until July or August.
No big deal. I just didn't know if it was a mistake.
No, that's okay.
but typically, you really don't run into much fluctuation year to year, and it's predictable to a certain degree.
Yeah, the only thing that goes up, unfortunately, are benefits and like papers, because we do have papers for me, and just the tax fluctuations. That's our big changes. But we've implemented a few things like stable internet source in the conservation district. So when, not if, the federal system goes down, we still have access to what we need. So we do pay for that. That's one of the expenses that's changed. Other than that, it stays pretty much the same. And I always try to budget us underneath that $90,000 so that we have some ability to put money away. If we do get extra, that way we could potentially over the next year or so get to where we have a full year of expenses put away. That would be ideal. We want that security. We took it out, 2 years ago now to purchase the new Great Plains drill that we rent, which goes nonstop. By the way, it's always out there being used. We rent a no-till drill and a grass drill for. It's not a small fee, but it's not the same as actually having to go buy a no-till drill for yourself. So, and it gets used all year round.
Well, I'd like to talk favorably of the Conservation Service, but having a new board member I see you have, I don't know about this guy.
What's going on?
Yeah, right. We sure miss him. He's done a great job for the county.
We got to keep an eye on it.
And this is a need. This is not a want. Sometimes we look at things and their needs and wants, and conservation is definitely a need. Very, very important.
So this is more for Martin, but their initiative to get trees cut back and make improvements there, how does that impact road and bridge?
So we actually did a township meeting with Martin here, what was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and did a presentation to talk to the townships, and most of the townships agreed that that's something that they just aren't keeping up with, keeping those trees back off the road. And several of them actually had dollars that they would spend towards clearing those trees off of the roads. And so we even talked about maybe working with the county and the townships to become kind of almost a clearinghouse for that information, as we had all these producers coming in, applying for our money, that we could even pass that along to the townships and to work to go through and say, hey, these people were willing to do this work, if you guys will go out and let them know it's okay. That was probably the biggest thing out of that meeting, was just, I can now tell farmers that, hey, if there's trees, clear them out. You guys don't care, let them go. A lot of the farmer and township members who were in there, that I've already seen some work being done on some of our next to our roads because of that.
And so we have $10,000 this year for that program, but we're hoping to continue to do that year over year and maybe work with like BSNO, or probably not everybody because they're pretty big, but BSNO and then the townships and the county to get some of those trees that are in the ditches and causing problems out.
Our big push for that is to clean out for the rangelands. We've got a lot of ranchers who have open, and then we still have that seed source and those trees coming off of those roads. And so a lot of them are like, well, that's not really our responsibility. It's the roads, and the townships are like, well, that's not really ours. That's your guys' trees. So to go through and have this program kind of just really puts it together to say, okay, yes, landowner, take control of this, and the townships and the county are good with this, and even here's some funds to go through and hopefully work on that long-term problem.
Yep.
I know from a few constituents or residents I've spoken to in my area, they feel like this was one of the best things we offer, was the conservation district. Of course, they're farmers.
It's always nice to know that somebody actually knows what we are, because I say I'm the conservation district manager, and they say, what's a conservation district? And then I get to go into the whole field, and this is what we do, and and they didn't even know we existed because we're up there in the FSA office, but
Right.
if they've never been in there, they don't have direct dealings with it. And so I've worked really hard this year to put out, especially through social media and our newspaper, to put out information so people know who we are and know what we do. And we do the fair booth every year and give away something that everybody loves. One year it was little mustaches. Last year, I don't remember what we did last year, but it was super popular. Stickers were everywhere. So we try to get the word out that we're here, but we're kind of just this little quiet group that gets the job done, but we're not real well known.
Well, ditto what Ron said. I think you guys are doing a great job. I don't think there's any reason why we're going to argue with the budget proposal you've given us.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great to see you again.
Great to see you.
Who's in our audience?
They're all leaving.
You guys. Dennis.
That's a lot of acronyms.
It's the.
NCFHAA, board appointment?
Yeah, North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging Board Appointments. So you received a letter from Julie Gilbert Walter. She's the executive director. And actually Kay is on the board as well, but we have an opening and there's two representatives from Dickinson County on there, and Jan McCormick is the other one. And they have sent a letter saying that Vicky Gabay is interested in this position. So they're asking if you're comfortable with that, if you would like to appoint her to that board, and then we can get on your agenda for the next week. And then I don't know if Kay has any.
Yeah, okay. What do you think?
What, I think she'd be great.
Okay.
Fine, yeah.
Lynn, Ron?
Oh, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll get it on the agenda next week.
Over the years.
I think we do that by resolution if memory serves.
Well, that wasn't a very long
I don't
conversation.
think so.
See, we're just saving up.
So we'll get that on next week's agenda and then notify.
Right.
Central Kansas Mental Health Board appointment. I think we brought this up last week then, and you wanted to review it this week.
Had you heard from anyone else interested? But I had talked to one person and I haven't heard back from them, so. I don't think we really take it down the road too far, but
No, I don't think we do either. Would
we
we?
could wait a week or two.
Okay.
But be sure and get it wrapped up this month.
Okay. I didn't know if, and maybe, I don't know this person. Do you know this person?
Maybe. I know where you're going with this.
I think she was related to, yeah, she had relatives, I think, a couple generations back here, or that name, maybe that's her maiden, or I don't know if that's her maiden name or not. But
I'm kind of with Lynn here, since mental health is something that I know our sheriff brings up a lot. It's something that keeps getting brought up a lot. I think Jailer here would probably agree with what I'm saying, but so I think where we're going is just to make sure that this board appointee is given that ample time for a good applicant to put in there. I think it's kind of the idea.
Mhm.
So I agree with Lynn. Maybe we put this on our agenda to actually appoint someone on our last meeting in May,
Okay.
and we leave it open till then.
Would that position be, who is this, a liaison for them or?
Sit on the board of Central Kansas Mental Health.
it'd be boards, they have usually 10 meetings or 11 meetings a year, monthly meetings at Salina.
You can
And then
have,
it's just review the budget and go through all the initiatives that they're doing. And then there's someone from every county on that board.
Lynn
She
sits on
lived in-
it as well. Sorry.
Correct, yeah.
Levita Montgomery had sat on it before as well.
Sheila
I
Biggs.
just wanted to know that my sheriff said it's a conflict of interest for me to put in for it because my wife's the crisis director.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work.
I saw it in the wheels turning. I just wanted to be able to tell her no.
They have a good valid reason.
I know where he's at. I know exactly where you're at there, man.
I mean, it just reaches out to so many situations and things going on with all age groups and such. And
We're using quite a bit in the jail now. We've increased therapy in the jail. It's just kind of rate, we do not pay full rate for mental health in the jail. We're actually getting Medicaid rate on that. So right now we're saying 3 clients are on their caseload for us, as in like the county on the other side of us, they have 108 to see that are seen. So, I mean, well, it's a part of care and treatment that we have to provide down there.
maybe we have Jennifer during her notices, just let us know again that there's an open position if they want
Yeah.
to reach out.
Go ahead.
Who do you want to reach out to?
To them, the admin. I mean, they can reach out to a commissioner. We're gonna send it to admin to get into the pool. Okay. He's not here yet.
So,
Why don't we look at your microservices?
Okay.
And while we wait on Brock.
Okay.
That'd be okay? Huh? Good money? Yeah. Sure. Here we go. Next up.
Yeah, what I'm asking you to look at today is approving the money to put forth to take care of Bank 14th out here, Bank Bureau Street. I didn't put that in the original bid because I wanted to see the original bid financially wise before I added these two little pieces of road on. We talked about having these roads earlier in the year. There's a little piece south of Solomon on Solomon Road, just north and south of the River Bridge that I'd like to seal. We will pave the rest of that road this year, but that's a 32,000.
Should be.
And then the piece on 14th and in front of past the church and around to the vet is a piece of road that actually costs another $1 per square to get done. I'd like to attempt to make that a better road going around the bypass and try to eliminate some of the bang of that road that I've been getting called about for 20 years. So, yeah.
it's a long
I
time.
mean, the road is held up very, very well. It's you know, like 1929 or whatever. So it does need something. I'm not for putting the money of an overlay on it, but I would like to try to seal, see if we can't seal the cracks and then put a coat over the top and get it.
Where's it at, Martin? Sorry.
From the Emmanuel Church west and then south on Van Buren to the vets.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. It's not a big stretch, but a stretch of road that everybody kind of doesn't go on after a while. You got a trailer, it bounces, you can take
So,
it.
but that, is that the road we share with the
We
city?
kind of hope back in the day when we.
Is that the road we share with them?
14th, the bypass is ours,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes, but
Sure should be.
yeah,
Okay. It's in town.
Got annexed in and
Yes.
a couple have not and.
Okay.
Well, every time we get close to it, the administration has changed it to city and then we never could complete the deal. So
but we have tried.
we have tried to allow them to take what they tax most of the property owners on either side of it already and incorporated them in the city limits, but not the road. So, yeah, it's
Some people out there requested to be
To be out.
to the city because it'd be advantageous, like on their insurance and certain coverage and so on, and they wanted some of the benefits, then a few others chose not to, so there's never been an aggressive annexation. And, you know, some discussion on it is, well, you should just square things up and make it that way, and that's not always what people want.
So it can't happen anymore with the changes in the rules. Now, if you take the property, you have to take the road, but back when it happened, it was not that way. You could actually just annex somebody's house and not take the road. Today's world, when you do it, you're supposed to take the road with.
Mhm. And it creates response issues, you know,
Yeah.
who's responsible for law enforcement side. I mean, EMS obviously is a little bit different.
Yeah,
but
two houses sitting side by side. If you
Here's
confuse,
the thing about that.
yes.
the city's responding or the county's got to respond to the next house.
Mhm.
Well, there was a deer that got hit out there once, and so then all of a sudden it became a discussion, is it on the city?
Yeah. Is it on?
And of course, you know, the person lived out there just drug it off the road because it's like, you know, let's get it off the road as I mean, within, I mean, it was dead, so they were.
Yes, but it was not. It is a discussion, who went after it? Did our deputies go, or did the city police go? You know,
And then who disposes of it and so on. And I mean, so, someone calls it in, this is before sheriff here, but, they could call it in and then the dispatcher's trying to
figure out who is sick.
say, who do I call on this?
And the problem is, they call it in the general area.
And within a minute,
It could have been on the county, in general, it could have been on the city.
so they're going to put the siren on and just run out there. But, having said that, I mean, if it's laying there and your kid or you drive down the road at, 11 o'clock at night and all of a sudden there's a deer there, you kind of think, wow, if it's been there for 2 minutes, so that's when they drag it off the road.
I thought everyone just picked the deer they hit up.
Oh, no. Nope.
Call the game warden. Quarter it out.
Is that right, Jerry? Is that the way it is? Everybody picks up their deer?
They have to have a deer tag.
Yeah. You gotta call the game warden and say, hey, give me a salvage tag. He comes out and does it. But he don't have to get involved at all. If I don't do that, he might get involved.
City or county can take it. It's all the county.
But even on
Oh, yeah,
maintenance,
think about
snow removal and treating of roads and maintenance, I mean, when the problem bit has been as you drive down that road, you're in the county and then you're out of the county.
Mhm.
It's kind of cut both ways. I mean,
So from Emmanuel to Van Buren,
From Emmanuel Church and just a little ways down, Van Buren to Laws. It's 200,
It's up behind you.
300 yards south.
okay.
It goes around that curve.
Yep,
So,
it's on the screen behind
Yeah, I'll put the map up.
there we go. Yep. There's the line there. Just past it, but it's in Laws property line.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'd like to try to do something with that, and I think this might be a good option to try. I mean, you can't chip seal it, you can put the rock on that concrete, but that encapsulated product may work.
the concrete's good. I don't know
Mhm.
how they afford it back then.
Lots of miles on that road.
Yes.
Great plains.
How does our finance director feel about it?
I think right now it's still working within our budget.
I trust these on for.
Yeah. And I think right now with Vance Brothers actually being in the area, we're getting a little bit of benefit that cost as well. I think that helped. They're already here doing some work for us. And so that was able to help on the bid that he said he did. So
And the city did approve theirs with Vance
Yeah,
Brothers, so they will be using the same company also.
So we've seen really good results from what Vance Brothers has done. So we're hoping this continues to hold up. Seems to be a more affordable option for some of these roads when it fits.
Yes, kind of, hopefully it helps eliminate some of the overlays. At 110,000 miles, getting it down to what the 60. It is quite a bit more than a $40,000 chip seal, but the product's better than that. So, and you don't have the loose gravel that people don't like.
How long should that,
Some of the roads in some of the neighboring counties, depends on where we put it, and that's why I'm trying to move some out here. They've got some 10-year-old mastic seal. If we can get 6, 8, 9 years, we're ahead of the game instead of overlaying.
for comparison, overlay of a mile, I think I'm about accurate here, 340,000, 350 or more than that.
A contractor.
Contractor, yeah.
We're getting a laid material wise for about 110,000
Right,
in material now.
yeah,
And plus layers.
So then our labor.
yeah, but a contractor, you're probably, not far off there, so.
Okay.
And, you're doubling the life, knock on wood, from a chip seal. Because, normally we're in that, depends on the traffic, 2 to 4 years on the chip seal.
The paint lasts better.
Right.
It looks better on black road than it does my granite
Mhm.
road with the chip road.
Right.
There's. Later this year, that's gonna look sharp.
Yes,
So,
That Jeep road looks like an overlay.
yes.
I mean, seriously.
That's what I'm hoping, that we slow
It really does.
the overlays down, use it, this maintenance product, and which will save us in the end by not having to overlay theirs off of that. So, I mean, we got the overlay back this year to 6.5 miles because of that.
Mhm.
Allowed us to get 22 miles of road done with the max. I'm hoping for the best here, but so far, the people that have it down are giving me the nod that it's last.
Right. Well, I know like the city of Salina has used it extensively.
They have,
A lot of
they're well into 9 or 10 years worth of running it every year.
Right.
Yes, and they did, last year, they did Shilling and Ohio and
Mhm.
Magnolia. They hit some of their
Really.
busiest roads. So, which helped.
I'll be honest, I couldn't even tell. I was just driving that road, so. Magnolia.
Give us more confidence that it would take that kind of traffic, because their traffic's 4 or 5 times what ours.
Especially on those roads, yes.
Side note, speaking of traffic, through industry with our first count, it's 8.6 times the traffic going through there now that there was before the bridge closed. We had 125 a day. Right now, we're running about 1,075 a day through industry. So trucks aside or nothing, we're putting 8 years worth of wear this year on that road. So we will see where it ends. The 12th is our next negotiation with the KDOT on working out a plan to set up an amount of money to take care of it for what happens to the road. So,
Yeah.
If we figure out who's using the road the most, I mean, seriously, I know that's hard to figure out. You know, somehow we need to get the reminder out there when harvest comes, there's going to be additional traffic, but a different type of traffic.
yes, more
And-
planters and tractors are hitting that road. The planters are right now.
Yeah.
Scares me as it is that
Because
speeds. I do want to give kudos to Sheriff's Department. The first days we ran it and had, some in the 90s and 80s and what, in the 70 mile an hour. Jerry did get some patrol up there, and it dropped about 15 miles an hour the next time we looked at the average of speeds through there. There was a whole lot less, but
They were going 80 mile an hour through industry.
90 was.
90.
Now,
Feel about that, bro.
That's hitting that 30 mile an hour speed limit in industry at 90 mile an hour.
when you said 90 at first, I thought you were talking about the day that it got up to 96 or something.
But yeah, just from what their increase of trying to get up there a little bit, and I believe they wrote a few tickets or warnings or whatever they've done, and it has helped. So, and that, the word gets out faster with the truck drivers.
Well, and
At the co-op or wherever or the sale barn, they're going, let us slow down going through there.
well, we've got students driving to school and,
Yes.
yeah, moms that got kids in the back seat and
They got us
store
doing
buses and delivery people.
Agenda for next week.
Yeah. You guys fine with adding this to your agenda for next week? So just to be clear.
Taking out the Grant Township.
Correct.
114, 892, 40.
Yes.
They asked for it to be put in to see what they could get it done for, and I would assume now they're hoping to bank the money to do it next year. They would like the product, but it was a little more than they're ready to budget.
Yeah.
So, but it gives them an idea what kind of money it takes to do West First Street from Van here and out to Fair Road. It darn sure needs something, but not this year.
Well, thank you, Martin.
All right, I did,
Let's get
I
something.
have one more thought. When you see my sprays, she's got some.
I saw that, yeah.
A bid on some chemical, but if you could consider that, get that, where I can order that spray. We did bid it to 3 companies, 1 refused. But the 2 that did bid it, Van East and, they were
I
about
don't know what's going on this
They
year.
were about $100 apart.
I got thistles popping up where I've
Everywhere.
never seen them.
I don't even, thistles are a bad
Oh,
word
yeah.
right now. We
I just
probably-
pulled 50 gallons worth of thistles.
I would assume somewhere around 8 or 9 letters are going out now to property owners that you have a mass amount of thistles and they need to be sprayed. We just got a call this morning and went up and right now somebody I believe was checking it for me. Just, you know, the person that called it says there's thousands. So they'll be getting their letter out by
There's
tomorrow.
one, there's many.
Yeah, and all we can do, our responsibility is send the landowner a letter and tell them that they should spray. And that's, there's the conservation man and I, we were talking, it's very hard to push it. Then you write the meaner letter and the steps say it, then you can go where I can come on your property and spray, which is not ever happened that I know. Okay, I checked with the earlier administrator and in 20-some years that we never as a county went on private property and sprayed their grass for. I mean, the rules say you can, that's a pretty slippery slope to spray private property for.
I would agree.
Oh, you'll be considered my trade.
Yep.
Too. If you would. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Rock, you want to come up?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Morning.
Wonderful.
We still remain full staff, so happy with that. You met the newest hire take-up when he came in March, the newest attorney. As far as where we're at on average, so I went back and compared where we were at this point last year, May of 2025, to where we're at this year in 2026. As I told you, I think at the update for where we were at the end of last year, fish and game tickets are up again already this year. So we've had about twice as many fish and game tickets this year as this point last year. The MR cases, which are the search warrants, the inquisition subpoenas, there's some autopsies that go on there, stuff like that. So those are like a miscellaneous case. Those are a little bit down right now this year, 47 this year, where we were at 60 last year. The care and treatment cases, the mental health cases were up 1 at this point over where we were last year. The child in need of care cases were down 6 from where we were at this point last year, so 15 instead of 21. Juvenile offender cases, so those are children that are charged with crimes, were a little bit up. We're at 27 juvenile crime cases this year, where we were at 19 this point last year. Traffic cases has had a big jump. We were at 323 traffic cases at this point last year. We're at 593, so that's an increase of 270 traffic tickets over this point last year. So, and criminal cases are up a little bit as well. We are about 72 at this point last year, and we're sitting at about 90 between what's already been filed and what I know is sitting on our desk to get filed like this week and next week. So if those have been filed, we'd be right at 90 or 91 today. They're in the process. So the appeals, I know because I came to you 3 years ago about now having the Attorney General's office do the appeals. I still think that that's an efficient use of the money than paying attorneys in my office an hourly rate to do that. One, we have to go through the Attorney General's office anyway to get it approved. And if they don't like something, we got to do it over or rewrite it. So it's a lot simpler sometimes to just have them do it and have it done the way they want it. We have 22 cases from Dickinson County in the appellate courts right now. 19 of those are mine. 3 of them are the Attorney General's own cases. One of those was one that a prior county attorney had invited them in to prosecute a case in our county. I don't know what the reason was. And 2 of them are cases that I would say are back on appeal. They're the capital case from the late 90s that came back and then went back up on appeal again. So I can tell you though, why it's kind of expensive is if you look at my list here, everything but the top 2 cases on this page are the cases that were in the appellate courts before I came. And then everything on these 2 pages are the cases since I came. So it's high, I know. I've already met with Margaret about my budget. There's gonna be a little bit increase there. But I think I told you when we started that, I expected at least for a few years to increase because they average, they look at this year, go back like 3 years and figure out your case average. So I don't think 22 is a high point or anything like that. I think we've been pretty consistent at that level for the last couple of years. So, other than that, everything going good in my office. We had our first jury trial of this year last week. We had 9 jury trials last year total, so we made it to April before we had one this year. I don't know how many we'll have total this year, but are there any questions for me?
I got both of you here. So how is the county in your mind? I mean, with criminal activity, I mean, how are we doing? I don't know how to ask that question, but
Well,
how are the criminals?
yeah. Well, you remember when I did an update before, at the end of the year, it was like we were down substantially at the number of CR cases year over year for the last 2 or 3 years. And now I'm up 18 in just adult criminal cases in May. So I don't know if that'll shake out at the end to even out, if we'll be down or up. It's, so I'm going to say it's probably average right now as far as I'm concerned.
Consistent criminal activity, or are we seeing any notable increase in something that we need to help you guys? I don't know how to ask this question, but
Well, Jerry, they have the drug enforcement unit that takes care of a lot of that in not just the county, in Abilene and in Harrington and Enterprise and Chapman and all of them. So they're still bringing me cases. There's not an end to that going on, or really a slowdown, I would say. As far as violent crimes, I would probably say we're on average right now.
Violent crimes are kind of hard to say, they're hit and miss, or
Right.
different disturbances.
Yeah.
Property crimes, I think, are down and have been down. But knock on wood, I mean, they're kind of hit and miss thing. Hopefully it's because we're catching them, and when we catch them, he's sending them to prison. So the cooperation between the county attorney's office and sheriff's office has never been better.
good.
Yeah, so.
I have a question just about concern about increase in possible children endangerment. You know, because it's summertime, the kids are out on their bicycles. I have a great niece, she goes from grandma's house to home, and I hope we're not seeing anything, just children endangerment of road people going through. I mean, can you report on just the numbers? Hopefully I'm just concerned about that.
So the JC cases I mentioned, or the child immediate care cases, those are basically child who are neglected or abused.
Okay,
So
yeah.
maybe in a position like that where they were found out on the road. Without any parental supervision. Those are down this year
But
right
then
now.
it's just children trying to be children in the summertime, and then possibly somebody, does come by and grabbing a kid. That's what I'm worried about, is kids can't seem to run around the neighborhood without possible of somebody coming through. I just was hoping those cases aren't increasing.
No, I haven't heard or seen anything like that of kids being neglected. or anything like that.
Just want kids to be able to be outside and be safe.
Yeah.
From which hard beat.
Yeah, or, people.
Did you see a video going around?
Cases are pretty steady.
Yeah, so those are the internet crimes against children, ICAC, that's what internet crimes against children. The sheriff's office has dedicated for.
Yeah.
I want to bring it up.
Anyway, just want kids to be able to run around but not be abducted and things like that. I just hope that wasn't an increase that you were.
No reports or no risk of that anyone's mentioned to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Just kind of curiosity there. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
It's always hard to, until you get to the end of the year and see the numbers, but.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry, I think the AG's office, KBI does their own numbers. That's the report you get.
Yeah.
Other than just start.
Well, and it was a warm winter too, for the most part.
Yeah.
It makes a difference, I'm telling you. I mean, they can get out and move around, they're gonna commit crime, so.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, guys. We're working through this quickly. Jerry, you're up.
I can do that.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here for 2 different purchases, actually, for the jail. Right now, we use a cross-match fingerprint machine in the jail. We take fingerprints and palm prints, we're able to electronically send them to the KBI. We've been kind of limping that system through for years, hoping that the KBI would settle on a vendor for their machine that's going to receive the print. And they've got a machine through what's called IDEMI, and that's the company that provides it. So we've done some research on the IDEMIA fingerprint machine, and I'd like to purchase 2 machines. One machine for the jail that's got not only the fingerprint capture capability, but the biometric capture capability. And take the mug shot and actually send it electronically to the KBI, because there's been a lot of cases solved through biometric facial identification. So I want to purchase a machine for the jail that's got the ability to capture photographs. Right now, when we have juvenile offenders and they need to be fingerprinted, we have to take them back into our booking area. State statute says we have to keep them in sight and sound separation from adult inmates. We can do the sight separation fairly easy, but we use the holding cells up front where the fingerprint machine is for kind of our segregation unit where we bring the problem children. So there might be adults back there yelling for, the whole day. So we can't have the sound separation. So we want to purchase a separate fingerprint machine to be able to do fingerprints in the front portion of the jail before they ever make it back to the part where the adults are. Part of that would also be for licensing for like teachers and nurses who have to come in and get fingerprinted for their job, or Greyhound Association. We'd like to do the fingerprinting for those as well at that front station. The 2 machines, I've got a quote from IDEMIA for the purchase of 2 machines. A one-time purchase of $49,705. That's for both machines. The machine up front doesn't need to have biometric capability, so we're not going to get the camera for that machine. How I want to pay for it is part of it, $23,781 is what we had in the carry fund last time. That concealed carry fund, a lot of our funds that we have are managed by statute. We can only deal with those funds according to statute, and the statute on the concealed carry fund says the funds in that account can only be used for enforcement of the Concealed Carry Act. So since we do concealed carry fingerprints on the front machine, we would like to spend all the money in the concealed carry account, get it down to zero, $23,781. And that would zero out the concealed carry account. I can't think of any other reason why we would use those money. The remaining amount we want to take out of the jail inmate fund. That's the fund where the phone call monies come in, the video visitation monies come in, commissary monies come into that fund. So it's basically money that we get from the inmates. That goes into the inmate fund. The remaining total of the inmate fund will be $25,924. And that would cover the cost of both those machines. I've already worked with IT. They've assured me that they can connect. It's going to be IDEMIA, so it's going to be able to connect to the KBI. I think it's going to work out wonderful for us. So I like that purchase. The only caveat would be next year, like with everything you do now, there's an annual maintenance fee to keep up the machine and the software, and you can't get around that no matter how hard you try. So annually, we would take a hit of $7,186 for the year for the maintenance fee for both machines. That's going to be needs to be figured into my budget because that's an operating
Of the general.
Yeah. So I'll work with Marcus on that, but I think we're okay right now. So that covers the fingerprint machine. That's where I want to go there. The other thing I want to do is through the request for proposal, contract for medical for the jail. We sent out an RFP requesting people give us bids for medical services for the jail. When we got the RFP back, there was a portion of that was for detained electronic medical record software. I didn't figure that we needed to have our employees at the jail staff have access to the medical records. So we didn't purchase that product during the RFP. We waived that. It wasn't until later that I found out that our nursing staff doesn't even have electronic medical records. Everything's on paper back. So I want to purchase an electronic medical records software for our jail nurses and our jail staff to keep track of medication, treatments, conditions of the inmates. The biggest issue I see there is if our jail staff has a problem with an inmate at 10 o'clock at night, our nursing staff's not here, they have to call the doctor, and the doctor's relying on the information we provide them over the phone as to what they diagnose for the client. With this EMR software, they would be able to log into their Apple iPad or their computer and be able to look at the inmate records and be able to give us a whole lot better diagnosis as to what needs to be done for that particular inmate. That may save us from having to take that inmate on to the hospital in the emergency room. I know that we've increased our hours for our nursing staff up to 20 hours. I talked to jail staff yesterday, Lieutenant Jadaberg and Captain Kinsey, and that's going very, very well for us in the jail. So all I want to do is get electronic medical records so that our staff can enter in the medication information and the medical staff can have access to it outside of our facility. So that cost is going to be a one-time cost of $5,000 through Core EMR. That's COR EMR. The quote we got from Detain EMR, which was in the RFP, was for an initial cost of $16,291. So the Core EMR is going to save us over $11,000. I want to go with that product. Also, the Detain EMR software had an annual maintenance fee of over $13,000. Well, that's almost the cost of the software initially, $16,000. That didn't make sense to me. Core EMR is able to do it for $7,800. So the initial cost of $5,000 we'd like to take out of the inmate fund. And then the $7,800 fee annually is going to have to come out of my operating budget next year. So those are the only two things that are going to hit my budget, are the operating fee.
We're talking about a $14,986 general basically to his budget per year. Okay. With both of these systems.
Correct. And I think those annual fees, not only for the sheriff's office, but across the board for every department, are just going to continue to climb because everybody needs software and everybody needs access.
EMR sounds logical, I guess. I don't know how to say it any better than that. I mean, being able to get medical records immediately and be able to diagnose something could save someone's life, save us a lawsuit, save us
Transporting
a lot of things.
The big thing, we had less down transport to the hospital, having the medical staff getting more. Last year we went to the ER a lot, and the ER trip usually ended up in Salina. To have the APRN be able to diagnose it from the software would be nice.
Could reduce that a little bit. Not that that's the goal.
Yeah.
I think the real goal is to make sure nobody's being critically ill in our jail or dying in our jail.
Yeah, it's the biggest lawsuit the county has. They're 80, they operate the jail on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, communities in the state that are paying a lot of money because they didn't want to do containment city.
I'm just here imagining 3:30 in the morning, they're mid-shift, and you're calling a guy, opening up medical records, trying to explain stuff you don't understand. You're not a nurse, you're not a doctor.
Didn't already have a medical record. That's why we waived it in the RFP. We thought they already had it. They don't. Now we have communicated with our nursing staff and our doctor and the Core EMR. They're okay with that.
That was going to be my next question.
They're okay with logging in and using that. So we've covered that base too. I talked to Dustin about any possible, there may be an additional fee for an interface, if you want an interface between our booking software and Core EMR. But he said we won't be able to put that together until we figure out whether or not we're going to need that. So there might be an additional cost there, but that would be an additional, just a one-time fee. And we would try to take that out of the inmate fund as well. There's plenty of funds there. So that's what we're hoping to do. And I'm hoping to get this thing started. Beware, costs are going to continue to climb across the board everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is on the agenda, so.
Is it on the agenda?
Oh.
Commissioners, questions for Dave?
I'm glad we're keeping current.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only way.
It's a constant battle, seems like. So,
Seems like we're doing that kind of in a couple departments, 3 or 4 departments now. So we got to keep up with technology.
once you get it going even, there's always a little hiccup. But as long as we can keep it close to even, we're going to call it a win.
There you go.
I'm missing a duck.
Anybody see that big old guy? Really? You know.
I'd be able to help with that.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it.
Oh,
Anything else, Kathy?
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That's right.
Have you, commissioners, have you had a chance to review the proposed procurement policy? If you did, do you have any questions? This is really, in my opinion, about what we decide. The policy we put forth to the staff and to Janelle specifically. We kind of went through it, changed some things the other day. That is all we did. I don't think there was any other major changes other than basically the bid amounts and allowances.
You know, the purchasing amount, we had made changes on that.
Yep.
And that's from 15 to 10,000.
Correct. For level 1. Level 2 is 10 to 40. Level 3 would be anything over 40.
On page 10, did we make a change on that or did we leave that the same? We had the contract documentation. It's down at the very, very bottom.
Renewed for 5 years.
And then to exceed 40,000, it will be placed on the consent calendar. So is that 40,000? Is that what we were staying with on that?
That's what I had, hang on a
I
second.
just had a question mark that we had discussed that, but I didn't.
Yeah, we've got 10,000 for it,
10,000.
10,000 for
On that, we changed that to
it.
10,000.
We did, yes.
Yeah,
On
so
page 10.
yeah, right here. It should allow them to buy like the structural, like we're talking about the structural steel and the fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe noxious weeds,
Yep.
the chemicals.
And of course, we would get probably the contract bid overall once you come in for your financials anyway, but you would tell us the agreed upon amount.
Next year on chemicals, this may be only one purchase for you.
Right.
Okay, once I've tracked it enough and put where it says here,
Do one big stock for us.
instead of we're running out of this, we're running out of that. It may be a heck of a 2 semi-load order, but it'd be done.
Mhm.
And we should be able to go off this year's records to order, January, February, we're gonna spend the amount and hopefully we don't have to order through the year because it's even driving me crazy to get another.
Well, I was just gonna say that.
$10,000 there.
Mhm.
And so we're working to end that operation that way. It's not, it's something that we're pretty sure of. We sold very close to the same amount of chemical every year to the public. It runs very steady. And of course, the townships that we spray will be consistent every year. So I should have one big bid go out to all the companies that we can and should get very competitive. Like I said, the little bid we did this time was, they were only $100 apart. Our local main guys did get the bid by $100. But yeah, they know that we're bidding about, everybody's aware of it, so.
I believe we built in, I don't know where it's at in here. Local
Yes,
allowance.
and that's on page 10 as well. Well, it starts on 9, local preference.
So this provision, I don't think we had this before in our
It
procurement.
was just kind of implied. I
Was it implied? In other words, we're gonna allow the local bid to be 1% within the matching low bid. Like I said, I don't think it was in there before, it's kind of implied, but
Well, I think we tried to follow that they had their facility here, they're paying taxes here, they have employees. And yet the other part of that is, sometimes if you need maintenance or you need to pick something up, it just makes more sense, than driving all the way to Wichita or across country, states away.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, that's sometimes it's kind of splitting hairs on a few of them. And I think of our insurance, for example.
I called up, unless it was just a big difference where there wasn't no chance, but anything close to the years, I think we brought up. Said, they're within this, but let the decision be made, but a certain actual percentage would be very helpful. And knowing, yeah.
Right.
Percentage helps, but now I'll just use example. This is going to be on our agenda for this trailer purchase. It's not necessarily the low bid. So what is maybe you want to get into that later. What's the differentiation between the product, I guess, and not the price?
I guess my biggest problem with trailers are every manufacturer kind of has their own little, they're not all identical F-150s. This is their 30-ton trailer. This is this guy's 30-ton trailer. And the reason we're looking, I say the lowest is fine. I think all of them build a quality trailer. We're mainly looking for an over the tire trailer and not an inside the tire trailer at this point for our equipment. And but it's very hard, if the only thing you can do to get them all the same is only bid Gator dealers, get the do Gator trailers, and bid 3 dealerships against ourselves. So trailers are not like going looking for a car. You're either going to lean to the Chevy or lean to the Ford or what have you. But all of these trailers that we have on the list are quite acceptable and are what we need. So in my opinion, the lowest bid is the only way to go on the trailer.
Oh, I put at the 15. I thought you wanted the
Yeah, we have here it's,
$15,000 one.
yeah, do you want to look at the ones you may,
Oh, I think I'm way up.
well, I probably should have specified this specific bid here.
The only thing I would say is on
All right.
Because of the weight.
your pull weight,
Yes.
which I get, you're gonna haul skid steers on this?
Backhoes, skids.
Backhoes too?
Once you give me the over the wheel, then I can put my bigger equipment on.
That's what you need is
So
the over the wheel, and not all of these are
Right.
over the wheel.
What we've had is 4 blowouts on brand new tires because of the weight and the rolling down the road, rubbing the inside of the tires on this type of trailer that we got. Now, Defense in 19 or 18, when we bought it, our equipment wasn't as heavy and it wasn't that much force on the inside.
So that's the only over the wheel trailer is that one that's the 15.
We have a little car trailer that we still have owned for years.
That's the
No.
only one on the
Right.
bid. Yes.
Yes.
And the usage, it's also a heavier
Mhm.
weight. So that's the recommendation because of the type of usage
Yeah,
that.
The other thing is it's longer and I can throw all my attachments for the skid steer on the same trailer.
Okay.
Right now, the trailer we have, it holds the attachment that's on there, but you're not hauling anything else. So if you need a attachment, it's got to go on up on the pickup, the flatbed, or on another trailer. So.
Well, and Martin, I did make a lot of calls on these trailers myself, and you're right. And the thing is, most of them you can't get a trailer like this.
Yes.
That they'll have to order them and it'll be a year before you ever got one.
Right, we're way out to get Bobby. 6, 8 months, but if we approve it now, we might not see the trailer until this winter.
The other thing is that we purchased that trailer used for $6,000. We're pretty comfortable that we'll get close to $6,000 when we sell it, if not more. So that will definitely go towards the purchase of the replacement trailer.
And then one of these that's a lower bid is a gravity tilt instead of a power tilt.
And we don't prefer that. We prefer the hydraulics. That's, I'm sorry.
It's important.
Yeah, it's very important for us. The tilt on the little trailer has worked, but on the bigger trailer, that wet trailer and getting that over that center point to get it to go back down, we'd prefer to have the hydraulics lifted and pull her down and lock it in. So, but I do say we will be putting other equipment on there now if it's a bigger trailer.
My apologies.
Because that's one of those things you just don't factor in when you see the bids. I mean, you have the information and specs, but I appreciate your insights to it, because there's an example of where the
You can get by, but I would.
low bid isn't necessarily the best value.
Better trailer. No, but without the power lift and the power pull down is why we want the more expensive trailer. Oh, yeah.
A bumper. Why a bumper pull with that long of a trailer? You're gonna be fighting corners and,
Because because we pull a lot of it behind the dump trucks.
okay,
So,
okay. No, that makes sense.
right, so like the one trailer.
Sitting there going, why wouldn't you want to gooseneck? You'd be so much easier to get
It
around.
goes out on a pinwheel hitch behind the dump truck,
Okay,
right? For
No, that makes
work on
sense.
it. Side.
that makes sense.
Do you want to add the procurement policy to the agenda, or do you want to just do it next week?
I think later on.
Everything on it.
I just need to do it now.
Is that it? Add it before our executives. So just for the public, we're gonna go ahead and add procurement policy to today's agenda to vote on that today.
The trailer we replaced, and Ron probably can attest, it will probably bring as much as I paid for it.
Oh, yeah, trailers,
Yeah, trailer.
treat it right.
Yeah, used trailers and
Their value, man.
Still in good shape, once obviously it's got new tires on it, yeah. And it will bring what we paid for it.
There's nothing else
So
on
that's
the
the only addition to the agenda.
correct.
Yes. Don't believe I have, unless you have something, Member on.
I don't even think, thank you.
And then, do you know now on the executive session,
Mhm.
what number we'll plug in as far as minutes?
So probably 10 minutes. Wait, let me get to the right one. 10 minutes on, let's go 15 maybe on both of them to start off to be safe.
I think that's appropriate. I was going to suggest 10 to 15 on the first one and 15 on the second. We could always buy more time if needed, but I don't anticipate needing more time.
We'll just set them at 15th, that's all right. I don't believe there's any more agenda for study sessions, so we'll go ahead and briefly break until 11 a.m. at our normal regular meeting time.
Just one question, because I had someone ask me and they'd questioned the executive
Oh, I'm
sessions
sorry.
and why. And so I think their take on it is executive sessions are for personnel only. So just kind of informational. I mean, there's other scopes of definition for that where it's appropriate and something we're
Yes.
to use.
In order to have an executive session, we must first be in an open public meeting. And of course, under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, an open meeting must be open to the public, but there are exceptions, and those are called executive sessions. And those are governed by a statute. When we go into an executive session, a motion must be made that must have 4 ingredients, all of which are outlined in the statute. Those include a recitation of the statutory justification, number 1. There are a handful of statutory justifications. The one that the person who made the comment to is most familiar with is probably the non-elected personnel justification. The policy reasons behind that is to protect the privacy interests of current or prospective county employees. And so that's one of the most frequent justifications you'll see for recessing into an executive session. Could be used to hire someone, fire someone, evaluate someone, anything related to employment. There are, however, other
justifications. Probably the second most common one would be to discuss attorney-client privilege matters with legal counsel. That is the justification for the two items on your agenda today, and those are appropriate under the Kansas Open Meetings Act. Other justifications don't see as much, and I will forget some, but could be preliminary discussions related to acquisition of real estate, for example. If the county were looking at buying real estate and had not publicly discussed that yet, creates a third justification where you can go into an executive session and deliberate whether to make an offer on that real estate. Again, the policy there is different than the other two justifications I described, but it would be that you're uniquely situated in that publicly deliberating whether to buy real estate can cause someone to go out and front run you, buy it, speculate, and jack up the cost of the county. So that's another one. There are employer negotiation justifications, trade secret justifications. Others that you seldom see, and frankly, I haven't seen for a long time, but to your original point, there are a number of justifications that could be cited. We just have to make sure they align with express permission to do so in the statute. While I'm up here, I'll just mention that the Open Meetings Act requires the motion to have 4 ingredients. As I just mentioned, the first one is the reference to the justification. The second one is the subject matter. That would be on today's agenda, for example, discussion of, we refer to the CHAMP plan.
Mhm.
So it is not necessary to go into such detail that you are essentially obviating the confidentiality that we're otherwise trying to have, but there needs to be a general reference to the subject matter. So the other example would be the Attorney General consent order. That is a description of the subject matter. So we will always make sure the executive session has the justification, the subject matter. And then the other 2 ingredients are the time and place at which the open public meeting will resume. That is to give the public notice when they are asked to leave the room, what time they should come back in to observe the open portion. And it's also important, as you may know, that if we get done early, so if we get done in 5 minutes, we need to wait to resume the open public meeting until the announced time and place. So the members of the public who left can come back and observe 100% of the open public meeting. Part of our new initiative is to work ahead when we know we're going to have an executive session and place a COMA compliant motion on the agenda for you, which will enable you to read it, ensure compliance with COMA. And then finally, another requirement of COMA is that the minutes reflect the exact motion made and reflect that all of those 4 ingredients were included in the motion. So this new practice will enable you to ensure COMA compliance when you make a motion, and it will allow the county clerk to ensure that she has the exact COMA compliant motion that can be copied into the minutes, assuming that's how it's read. So that's part of our new initiative. And, there will be cases where a spontaneous need for an executive session could arise. That's okay. We won't have it on the agenda. It's not required to have it on the agenda. It's just to help. Finally, I'll stop talking in a moment, but it has been asked by a couple of people recently, and it's a great question. Do you have to include a reference to the invitees when you're making a motion to go into an executive session? For example, we would often include Janelle or Marcus or Jennifer. The answer is no, you don't have to include that in the motion. That's not a requirement under the Open Meetings Act. That being said, it's frequently done. It is a best practice, but it's not required. COMA does not allow you to invite mere observers into the room. So obviously members of the public could not come in. People aren't allowed to come in just observe. However, you are allowed to invite resources in, persons with knowledge or persons that may be helpful to the justification that we're in there for. So on today's executive sessions, I will be suggesting that we invite certain members or county representatives into the room. And I think it's a good idea. If you know who you want to invite in, absolutely say it, but I don't want you to think that it's required.
So when the minutes are published in the newspaper, not necessarily commission, maybe even city, when you read adjournment for executive session. It's just very limited words put in there.
I'm not familiar with the newspaper.
Just look at any of them.
Well, but if they look at the minutes of the city or county on a website, for example,
No, I'm talking about reading the newspaper.
on the newspaper.
Well, the newspaper, the only requirement when we publish anything related to an executive session is in the minutes. And the minutes must reflect verbatim the motion that was made by one of you during the public meeting.
And it's got to incur all four things that we include in them. Okay, gotcha.
The minutes, I'm sure you know, but they get uploaded to the website.
Yeah.
Where you can find those.
It's the official documentation of the meeting.
Yeah, yeah, I got you there.
Thank you. I just think it's, helpful for people to hear where you're knowledgeable on that and can talk to the specific concerns and kind
Happy to help.
of. So,
There's several other statutory justifications. They're pretty seldom used, and I'm forgetting that. Maybe
Security is one.
security, yeah,
Measures.
about security measures, again.
and I know I kind of put you on the spot, but the main portions of it, I mean, that's the part that we needed. Is I think it's helpful for the public to hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and take, let's see.
No.
Go ahead and take a break till 11 a.m. We'll resume our regular meeting. Thank you, guys. Oh. Where's my shoes?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I get it, and it's Sean's brother, so you guys say, where you just sideline.
At least we got moisture. We got some water in the ponds.
Okay. Yeah. Totally.
Right.
Oh, no.
Especially overflows right now in most ponds and other areas.
I've had people say their ponds.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wheat's looking good. That's for sure.
Well, I had someone tell me he got out of the field.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that a bit.
I mean, I'm sure
I'm just looking when I drive by. I have no idea.
Well, and wherever. Anybody's, but you know where I'm talking about.
It's like the first one that gets in.
The other guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Those little plots usually seem to yield more than the big plots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rain gauge is the
So that's what Chris said. Right. Well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at first, I don't exactly know. So, we have to make it. the hospital down there and he's right, but, you know, and I totally get that lots of times it's from. But I just didn't know. You know, what he tries to. Right.
So.
See? And let me tell you what happens. It's not only when it's not in place, the lobby and not getting. Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, created before.
What's the line of the last one? And I was like, well, it was on the summer, right? And I went by, head down, went right through three. So anyway, I didn't have a complaint or anything, but I didn't know when they signed off, if they spread the ratios.
We do this.
Yeah, okay, well, I was just kind of getting.
Janelle, how's it going for you? Oh, I love this clear.
Her big sister.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Both of them,
She's, you know,
oh.
she was making the cake.
You
It was
betcha.
hot, so those are very cool.
Oh,
On her feet, but
yeah, well, that's, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, my.
let me find the picture of her. That's what, right, son.
Oh, pretty proud.
Yeah, very much so.
Wow. That's lovely, your grandson.
So that's. Okay.
Did you guys all sign in?
I did, for speed, I don't know.
Yeah, anybody visiting should sign in.
Okay.
If you need to go to the next page, you can. It's not a big deal. Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna rub it into you today on pens, city Arnold community. Checking the other day, and it's a neat pen, it has the name of the city. So it was like one of these really fancy. How did they do that?
Where'd you get it from?
Woodbine.
Oh.
I paid my water bill and they give me a pen. I go, wow. And I remember one of them I got from you. It was a good pen, but it wasn't the one.
You have the light on the one I gave you?
Well, no, well, this one here is gonna like, this is from K-Camp, I believe. Yeah, this is a K-Camp pen here.
Yeah.
You know, all I do is play with it when you,
Well, I get them from those
yeah, so there you go.
conferences I go to. They give them away.
Oh, I like them. Just,
I know, they're cool.
well, I had one I used to use as a pointer on the chart. You could,
Oh,
and that really works good, but you don't want to point anybody's face because that
no.
is just the pointer. But if you're looking up on the bulletin board, you can just go, see that one, you can point right to it. That's nice. Anyway. Then they have some that are trick ones where you push them down the thing that they shock you. And you go like this, you know, they have electricity in them and they give you a shock.
Yeah. Aaron, did you see that email from me? I don't know. Because you've been kind of busy with this.
Yeah, I thought that.
I just have that agreement needs to be reviewed so I can purchase the equipment.
Okay, I'll make that for you.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sure I did. Maybe I'm lost in shuffle this week.
I thought I'd just touch it. Yeah.
You guys get much rain there in Salina, Aaron?
We got a lot of hail.
Did you, oh, you guys are the ones that got hail then?
Golf ball size hail.
Oh, my, oh.
I don't know the official count for rain, but it was a lot.
Oh, sorry about that. That's not good.
The front row student. Then I can get out.
Sit. She gets very, sit. There you go.
Put all of this in.
You have the chin.
You go to the second page, me too.
I'm not getting our phone number. They were get hold of us.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm enjoying the sun.
That's fine. I could go back into the basement and try and get back the junction to this. But Good one.
Yeah, I don't have to do it. See it, so I just, I have to walk up and look out.
He is, I don't know if tonight he's gonna be in his office because he's still a little rambunctious. It's the weather. Sit. There we go, yeah.
Which my poor people didn't write that.
She knows that will never be bad. I will always let her be bad. We only, we don't help for Sam's cause to try to make it behave. It's frustrating. Didn't stick her dog in my first one. Which is still good. I'm not. She gets a little rest, oh, that's all right. I think no different. I walk in. They can tell me now. A little. That's popping. Yes.
So you told me that they had. When did this happen?
Monday.
Oh, congratulations.
So pretty excited.
Congratulations. Oh, love it.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Lucy.
She's having fun. Yes. Okay.
That's my son.
Did that ministry run here the other night. It's about a center. Oh, and I missed it. Turned it. I think the right turn into the industry. And that back up. It was kind of dark. It wasn't real lit up. It is now. Everybody was
Exists loves her, so that's the main.
interesting. Go around. I've never been through industry.
Can't believe so. Yes, yes. Sarah's mom was up there and they went up to the hospital and see her and she got a hold of her like.
We're having trouble with on there.
Oh.
Down our communities. but- I'll get my mail on the mail. Darn sure easily hit somebody. It just, the mailboxes are close to the room. The guy was out there getting his mail, yeah, innocently.
Well, I had some.
Sorry to ask you.
Kids fishing.
So she looks.
And it was, yeah, school was going on.
Yeah,
So I don't know if they're homeschooled or, well, and you know, maybe, yeah, they could be 18,
I know.
16-year-olds.
Yeah, they got the right genetics there, don't they?
Not a level. Yeah, this is.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Got a full house here today. Wow.
Lucy, she's having fun.
Yeah, she's full of it this morning. She was doing well in Janie's office, but we got in here and she's just like.
New face.
She shy or something, or?
No.
Are the commissioners intimidating or?
No, she's checking out.
Oh,
the-
better. She can tell where the friendly people are. They're behind the second row there.
You, during the officers' information, do you want to have Marcus kind of touch on this? Or no? Sales tax and so, or do you, it's up to you.
Yeah. You want to, Marcus?
Marcus, probably like.
I'll throw him on the bus. So.
Oh, it hurt. You just want me to sign this one too? We already agreed. It's on the agenda.
Might want that to.
These are the agenda item requests. These will how come through now, what I'm gathering.
Yes, yeah, that's the plan, is to move forward with that. Makes it a little clearer and has more information on there.
No, I like it. Thanks a lot. I call this meeting to order. If it all rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Today we had one addition. To begin, we'll have a proclamation. Consider purchase of power tilt trailer, Public Works Department. Consideration of purchasing fingerprint machine, electronic medical record for the Sheriff's Department and jail. Review and approve our new procurement policy 2026. We'll have 2 executive sessions, which we will bring up at that time. Do you have any additions to the agenda, or do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Consent agenda minutes are provided for you in your April 30th meeting. Payroll this week of $427,896.83. Do I have a motion to approve the consent?
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to commissioner comments and committee reports. I'll go ahead and kick it off. I've been getting a lot of texts. Thank you for the condolences. My father passed away this weekend on Saturday. We will hold a funeral this Saturday at 1 p.m. in Salina at the St. John Lutheran Church. Everyone are invited if you'd like to attend. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. So I've been busy with that. With that being said, Lynn, do you have anything to report?
Not necessarily. I mean, just I know there's a lot going on with the end of the school year and a lot of gatherings and graduations and so good time to celebrate some of the achievements and of our youth in the county and best wishes to them as they kind of enter their next step of life, wherever it may be.
Ron, just real quickly, want to be thankful that moisture we got, not the hail that I heard others have gotten, but we're sure glad to get that rain. Help these ponds out and help these pastures and of course the wheat fields.
Likewise, I agree. Moving on to presentation of proclamations. We have a proclamation for National Treatment Court Month for May 2026. Who wants to present this, or do you want me to present this?
Like you
Oh, you want me to? Okay. So I'll go ahead and read this out. Whereas according to the All Rise Treatment Courts are the most successful justice system intervention in our nation's history for reducing crime by addressing substance use and mental health disorders. And treatment courts save an average of more than $6,000 for every individual they serve. And treatment courts provide a range of economic benefits to a community, such as reduced costs in court and prison expenditures, increased tax revenues, lowered foster care expenses, and decreased costs related to victimization. And treatment courts combine accountability with evidence-based treatment, and treatment courts annually refer more than 150,000 people to life-saving treatment and recovery support services. And according to the All Rise Treatment Courts, significantly improve substance abuse and mental disorder treatment outcomes and prevent fatal overdoses. And treatment courts facilitate community-wide partnerships, bringing together public safety and public health. And there are now more than 4,000 treatment courts nationwide. And treatment courts demonstrate that when one person rises, we all rise. There be resolved that Dickinson County, I'm not going to declare that yet. We got to vote.
It's so moved that we go ahead and declare this by proclamation, the National Treatment Court Month, May 2026.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? I'll just add something. I've seen firsthand what these recovery courts are doing. I didn't know much about it coming into it. I know these guys were a little more involved before I got in, but have a profound effect. I think they're a great program. So with that being said, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. There be resolved that Dickinson County declares the treatment court month to be established during the month of May 2026. Thank you, guys.
So it'd be great if you stepped at the podium and introduced yourselves and gave us a little bit of insight. And I guess we have some special guests here.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
But you may have some insights that go beyond this proclamation, so.
I'm Christine Phipps, the Director of Community Corrections. Community Corrections facilitates the recovery court here in Dickinson County. It is a shared process where community corrections is involved. We've got the court involved, treatments involved, law enforcement's at the table, mental health is at the table, and obviously our office, which is probation. So I'll let Jamie introduce herself.
Jamie, I'm the Intensive Supervision Officer for Dickinson County.
My name's Ronna. I'm with Community Corrections. I kind of oversee the recovery court over here in Erie County.
So Ronna is a huge part. She is our coordinator, so she keeps everything together. And then this is Lucy. She's our community corrections therapy comfort dog. We've had her for a couple of years, and she attends recovery court with us too. So we have been established in Dickinson County since 2022. Jamie and I were just talking in our staffing a minute ago that we are rolling up on our 5th year. Our 5th anniversary will be in March of our recovery court. Can you believe it's been 5 years?
Wow.
Yeah. And so we've had, out of those 5 years, my graduates have brought it, that's our data. We've had 12 graduates of the program. And we were just talking about maybe doing something. I would love to bring those 12 graduates back and pick their brain on what we can do better, what has helped, what didn't help.
Well, some great success stories and the involvement that it's not just that individual, but the families that are involved and generationally.
Yesterday.
It's a real turnaround.
Yeah, we had a lot of family members in attendance yesterday with our, at least on the women's portion of the recovery court yesterday. I think almost everybody had somebody of support with them, whether it was family, their sponsor, whatever that is. So it is very much a community team effort. But our next graduation to the new calendars is June 10th at 3:30. They'll be here in courtroom 1.
I don't know if you get any of them to come talk to you. I think if they'd be willing to maybe bring that here too, just to tell their story of what happened and give people a better idea of the good work you guys are doing over there.
And one thing that I hadn't thought about until I'd, been up there and observed and so on, we have some great community partners that are business people that they can provide the jobs for the individuals involved, but those people have to be able to take off and check in and have that kind of support, to help them financially, just by, maintaining a job. I mean, there's just a lot of people involved. So.
They're true. And we're very blessed in this community that we do have that kind of involvement from our employers, from our organizations and community partners.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people involved. Your leadership is sure key and expertise. If I get a picture.
Yeah, sure. You guys want a picture? Come on up.
We have to have the dog on the counter so we can see Lucy or.
Oh yeah, she was in our Erie County picture.
Why don't you guys come back here?
You want to come back here?
The dog.
Yes, you have to get Lucy. She has a picture
Well,
taken.
the dog sit in the chair or something.
Well, not a picture of her sitting in a chair.
Oh, well, so.
Around.
We'll sit here. Give Penny's chair away.
slide that chair over for me. Thank you.
Is he set? Okay.
Okay, you guys ready? I'll take a couple. Lucy, there we go. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Guys.
You want to shake hands?
Yes.
You can-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair around.
Got the dog, huh?
It's hot. Thank you.
Wow. Was it that? Okay.
Didn't want you to.
Oh, boy.
Well, 8.
We'll go ahead and move on to a public comment section. If County Administrator John Doctor, I thought I missed something.
No, you're
County Administrator John Doctor, read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comment shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you. After talking with the crowd, I believe we do have a public comment here in the crowd. Do you want to go ahead and come on up? If you would, just state your name and maybe where you're from and go ahead.
Tennis gives me issues, I strokes. So
Take your time.
Christopher Anderson at 1524 Main Street, Navarre. I'm here to talk about the resolution 050417 2B, I think it is. It's for dogs at large. In 2023, the leash law was revised due to rising costs. And so it was done away with in the county. We are dealing with some loose dogs. My family has been chased. My horses have been chased multiple times into the fence. My pregnant daughter was chased across the street. My 7-year-old daughter was chased across the street. My wife was chased trying to jump up into the golf cart. The dog, I went over, the dog come at me. The sheriff called multiple times. They've come out. They said that they really can't do anything the way that the resolution's written. And it really comes down to almost the fact that the dog has to bite somebody before the sheriff can do anything about it. They're not going to pick them up. They told us they're not going to pick them up. That's like 4 different deputies. They said, we're not going to pick those dogs up. We're not allowed to. It's not in the resolution. That I have to take care of it. That we have the right to protect our animals, our livestock, and have the right to protect ourselves, self-defense. That's what we're told. Well, unfortunately, this was done. I was getting video for an officer. He said, we'll try getting a video, see what we can do there. I was getting a video. A dog is already off the property, runs across the neighbor's property, 168 feet onto my property. I back onto the highway to get back. I can't run. I put the dog down, protect myself. This Thursday, I was arrested for cruelty to animals. What I'm asking is, we can either be part of the problem, or part of the solution. I want to make something good out of this. This is tragic. It should not happen. It's not the dog's fault. It's the owner's fault. The owners are responsible for their dogs. That's simple. In this, what I'm asking for you guys to revise is to take a look, pleading with you guys to take a look at making a leash law within the boundaries of urban communities. Because I know you can't do it the whole county. It just gets too costly, and I know the farmers and their dogs, everybody, it just gets to be a problem, and I understand that. But I do believe in the urban communities like Navarre and other places that they could benefit from this. So we have a little bit of leg to stand on. I should not have been put in the position to do this. We have animals, we have dogs, I did not like to do what I do, but I have to protect myself, my livestock. I have to, and I have a right to. The state of Kansas says I have the right to. I do have that statute here, and so I do want to bring up one thing and say, well, I'm getting death threats because of this. I'm getting multiple death threats. People are telling me, and they can't do anything about it because it's not coming directly to me. It's on Facebook. They're saying I need to be dragged out the street. There's one that's actually, the sheriff department did take it, look into it, because he's on his Facebook. He's got tactical gear, AR-15, and he literally messaged my business. We had to shut my business Facebook down, and he literally said, Christopher Anderson, you need to be dragged out the street, shot in the head. And there's nothing I can do about it. And my family is in fear. We are in fear because, and we, part of us, we shouldn't have been put in this fear. The one thing I want to read is what constitutes attack in Kansas. An attack is not only a bite, but can also include a scratch, a knockdown, or a chase that causes injury or severe distress. My family has severe distress. My daughter, with her newborn baby, would get out of the car and look around to see if these dogs are loose before she would get my grandson, out of the car and worry a dog running across the state highway and chasing them. That is an attack by the Constitution of the state, of the state's amendments. What I don't know what you call it. I'm not. You can tell them always that this has been just, it shouldn't happen. And I'm just pleading, we got to find a resolution to fix this. I'll go and fight in court. I will. It's going to cost me. It cost me. You should see me trying to, with my stroke, trying to get in the back seat of a squad car. It don't work too well. They had to help me get out. I'm begging. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm begging because, and not to be a charity case, the issue is the doctors can't tell me how long I have. I'm missing an artery in most side of my brain, and I can die tomorrow. I could die at 10, 15 years. That's right now. It's very rare. That's the longest people's lived, 60. At least I can protect my children and my grandchildren, our community. I grew up in Navarre. I went to Chapman. My wife went to Chapman. All my kids went to Chapman. I'm just begging you, please, to consider it for me, please.
Thank you. Any more public comments for today?
I think we do have the ability, we can do a review on what that is and perhaps see what legal issues we need to consider. And I mean, it's not something we can come up with an answer right now, but I'm sure there's, the city of Abilene has certain laws, but then when you talk about Navarre and the others, I'm sure there's other counties that have faced this situation or addressed it, so.
I'll work with Aaron and with the sheriff and see what we can do.
Let's look into it a little bit, see what we can and can't do is probably where we need to start this conversation and then talk about what that looks like in terms of actually enforcing it. That's going to have to be a conversation with Jerry.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, because I think that's part of the public comment. It gives us opportunity to know about some specific issues and circumstances and, just see as a county, how we can solve things or have something that's fair and equitable.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you. Any more public comments? Otherwise, I'm gonna close it. Okay. We're gonna move on then. We'll go down to reports from county officers, start with County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, the Public Works Department is installing a structure in the 3500 block of Rain Road. So has been closed for a couple days while I get that taken care of. We did have a hazardous chemical spill on 1400 Avenue, just east of Jeep Road, which has been cleaned up. So that made a little bit of a mess, but our Public Works Department and the family that was hauling the hazardous chemical came in and cleaned it up. So, I mean, obviously we'll still have some mitigation, and Chancey was involved with that emergency management side. So purchase of diesel fuel, Sapp Brothers quoted at 4.549, Robson at 4.583, Petroleum TR at 4.638, and FNF at 5.226. So Sapp Brothers received the bid this time on that. A big thank you to the Sheriff's Department for the additional patrols up north because of the routes that we're taking, our citizens are taking, and travelers through because of the K-15 bridge. So we appreciate them going up there and slowed it down. And as Martin had reported earlier, we've seen a substantial increase of the number of vehicles traveling through industry, and the speed has slowed down a little bit as well. So that helps tremendously. Community baby shower is this afternoon, starting at 4:30, that the health department's putting on. And the Vance brothers have actually completed the micro surfacing that's been done on Rain Road. And if you've driven on Rain or on Jeep, it looks really good. So do you have any questions for me?
I didn't know we had fractions of pennies.
I didn't know. Yes, exactly. That's exactly, yes, how they do that.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Because it does get down to that sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Nothing more from County Administrator. County Councilor Aaron Martin.
I don't have anything to report, commissioners, unless you have any questions.
May not. Thank you, Aaron. Notices of communications, County Clerk Jennifer Gayton.
The Central Kansas Mental Health Center currently has a vacancy on the governing board of the directors. If you are interested, please reach out to our county administrator, Janelle Dockendorf. I also wanted to mention that we do have a constitutional amendment question that's going to be on the August 4th primary. I have posted it on our Facebook page for Dickinson County and the website on my election page if you'd like to review it. That would be it for me.
Thank you, Jennifer. No new resolutions, no unfinished business. We'll go ahead and move to other business. First order is to consider purchase of the power tilt trailer from Public Works Department. We covered this pretty extensively in study. We'll go ahead and open it up to the floor. If any discussion is needed. The staff is recommending, you guys might look at this, this bid and go, why are we trying to choose the most expensive trailer? The trailers are not all the same. It is not the same exact product between the 4 different bids. What we're looking for is a power tilt bumper pull deck over trailer of a gross weight value of 17,600 pounds. The intention is to haul our heavy equipment around with that. It's as you guys might look through the study session, I asked why bumper pull. We pull that behind our dump truck when we go work on the roads and other various activities we do. And the best fit trailer for the function we're looking for is the high bid. That doesn't mean we're picking the high bid. It is a different option trailer. Doesn't mean we're picking the high bid. So it's what we need. Let me state it plainly. With that, I'll open it up to the floor if you guys want to talk about it at all, or do I have a motion to approve the staff recommended bid for Austin Trailers LLC on a 102 inch by 24 foot power tip bumper pull for a total value of $15,238?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. You go ahead and let Martin know. Inside. Next would be the consideration of purchase of fingerprint machine, electronic medical record machine for the jail and sheriff department. We heard about this morning as well. Sounds like we're actually gonna, Jared, you maybe want to come up and just briefly touch on this again? I think I'm more looking for this too. Yeah. I had it. That's right here. It's more or less what I was asking is, what's the need, why we're doing it?
The need is our current fingerprint machine is we've extended the maintenance contract for the last 2 years. It's end of life. We have communication issues. We want to switch to an IBM machine that captures not only palm prints, fingerprints, but it also captures the picture and biometrics, because facial recognition is here, whether we like it or not. It allows us to electronically send our fingerprint data from bookings to the KBI repository. There's a second machine we want to put outside of the jail, within the jail confines, but outside of the actual contact with other inmates area. It'll be in a visitation room that we're going to take it from an attorney-client visitation room to a fingerprint room, because we've already got another room for that, for the attorney-client visitation. So we want to purchase 2 machines that will be able to do juvenile fingerprints. We don't have to have the juvenile back in the jail. Licensing fingerprints for like nurses, Greyhound Association, stuff like that. Also concealed carry if we need to. The funds for that wouldn't come out of the general fund. It wouldn't hit the budget this year at all. We want to take some of the funds out of the concealed carry fund. We want to zero that fund out because that statute specifically says those funds have to be used for enforcement of that act. The fingerprints would be for enforcement of that act. So it looks like we want to take $23,781 from the concealed carry fund. That would zero that fund out. The remaining amount would be $25,924 from the jail inmate fund. That fund is from commissary purchases that we make profit off of, phone calls, video visitation, that type of thing. Total purchase price for 2 machines is $49,705. Like I said, they would both come out of funds that are available for use. Makes more sense to take it out of there than to get the taxpayers with it. The annual maintenance fee would be the only thing that would hit the budget, which would be $7,186, and that wouldn't start until 1 year from now. So the electronic medical records is for our jail nursing staff and for our doctor. If we have a call that comes in at 10 o'clock at night, 11, 2 o'clock in the morning, our jail has to call the doctor and give the doctor the information that they have in front of them. They don't have access to it in front of them. What we want to do is have electronic medical records so the doctor can pull up that inmate and say, aha, this is the problem. This is what I diagnosed, or this is what we can prescribe. That way we don't have to, it may save us on emergency visits and that type of thing. But it's also going to help with our liability as far as the doctor's going to have the information they have to have to make an accurate diagnosis or recommendation. So the electronic medical records, that would also come out of the jail inmate fund on the initial purchase, which would be $7,000, which would be, $5,000. The annual maintenance fee on that one would have to come out of the budget next year. And that amount would be $7,800. So that's the purchases we need to make for the jail. And I'll leave it up to you folks if you have any questions.
I don't believe I do. Thank you for running through that, Terry. Unless you guys get questions.
Well, I think it's helpful that we're able to, and you're able to utilize some of the funds that you have kind of as a funding resource, which just kind of helps get a little more leverage.
A lot of the funds were restricted on what we can and can't use the funds for. So we may want to purchase something, but we don't have the funds in an account that, so we may have to hit the budget for that. This avoids that on these particular purchases. We're able to take it out of funds that don't hit the budget at all.
We can vote on this, but technically speaking.
Since we have a procurement policy, that's why I'm.
Okay, you're right. Yep, okay. Thank you, Jerry. I guess I'll motion this. I motion to accept the bid on the fingerprint machine, accept the bid on the EMR machine, electronic medical records machine. To get them purchased, get them installed, get them going, then we can go through budget when that comes. I think that's a good motion.
Second.
Do you want the amounts?
Yes, let's do the amounts. Yep, the total amount is going to be $49,705.
That's for the
For the
fingerprint.
fingerprint, and then the,
Oh, yes, another 5 on top of that, huh?
correct, yes.
So 54,705,
Out
which is coming out of his funds that he manages.
concealed carry and inmate.
Yeah, great fun.
I'll still second that with
With the amendment,
clarification on the amount.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. No problem. Oh, now we would, we're looking to approve the new procurement policy as of May 2026. I'm not going to go through all of this. We've made some edits to the levels of bid amounts, and I'm going to briefly talk about that. We have a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 purchasing. Level 1's a non-competitive purchasing, anything under $10,000. Level 2 is 10,000 to 40,000, and level 3 is over 40,000. All of these, other than level 1, has to be directly brought to the commission for approval. As you guys have already seen, we bring things even under 10,000. Janelle does, and the directors do. So I don't think we have a fear that that's not coming to us. I think this is just a good update to our procurement policy as it sits. I'm going to open it up for discussion.
Has legal got to review this? Yes, legal has reviewed it. Okay.
You reviewed it, Aaron?
Yes.
Okay. We're good?
Yeah, it's been a while. I had to think back. I think it was about a month ago.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
no,
didn't have any concerns on that.
Okay. Motion to approve Dickinson County procurement policy for May 2026.
I'll make a motion to accept the new procurement policy for 2026.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. I think that was a good update to our policy.
Yes.
Okay. 32. I move the county commission recess into executive session for 15 minutes to discuss the legal counsel, the terms and conditions of proposed consent order with the Kansas Attorney General in relation to the Kansas Open Meetings Act compliance, based upon the need for consultation with an attorney for the public body, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship pursuant to KSA 75-4319, Section B2. The open meeting will resume in this room at 11:47. That's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Before you vote, I would
You want
suggest that we invite Jennifer, Janelle, and Marcus to participate.
We'll invite Marcus Rothschild, Assistant County Administrator Joe Dockendorf, and the commission, and our County Council Aaron Martin. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Do we have a second?
Yes. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We're actually already in it technically.
let's shut the door and let me shut this off. Because I hit that.
Correct me here a little bit.
We're back in.
Do we have?
Here.
Yep. I motion to bring us back into regular meeting session.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're back in regular
And
meeting.
be noted that it was at 11:47.
In the same, in the commission chambers.
And I wrote that on my paper.
And I think it's great that you're going above and beyond. I would note you don't have to say that though.
We're gonna say it.
If I may, just during that executive session, I know. Yes. Are we back on? Okay, so during the executive session, we discussed a proposed consent order with Kansas Attorney General, as you know. Before the commission votes on this, I was just going to briefly summarize it for the public record. The consent order is a public record, and I have an extra copy here if anyone wants one. But it resolves certain historical violations of the Kansas Open Meetings Act that were identified by the Attorney General's office after they received complaints in December of 2024 and 2025. The identified issues in the consent order relate primarily to executive session motion procedures and involve, for the most part, procedural deficiencies in the wording of motions and the minutes in which those motions were kept. After these issues were brought to the Attorney General's attention and the county's attention, the commission, as you know, with my assistants worked cooperatively with the Attorney General's office to ensure future compliance and implement additional measures to ensure FOMA compliance both procedurally and substantively going forward. So the proposed consent order that you have before you will need to be voted on. And if it is approved, signed by each individual commissioner, myself, and the county clerk. And it does impose modest civil penalties and a 1-hour training requirement for commissioners. But going forward, I believe we're in great shape, and I look forward to helping you comply with FOMA, which we obviously take very seriously. So I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Otherwise, I would recommend voting to approve the consent order.
I'll motion to approve the consent order from the Attorney General's office.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Consent order is approved. And you have to sign a copy right there. Thank you, Aaron. I move the county commission recess into executive session for 15 minutes to discuss the legal counsel, the terms and conditions of the legal consideration related to the CHAMP employee benefit plan and related documents, based upon the need for consultation with an attorney for the public body, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship pursuant to KSA 75-4319, Section B2. The open meeting will resume in this room at 12:05 a.m. or p.m. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're breaking for the executive session. We did that wrong.
And we'll resume this meeting.
We are recessing into an executive session. And for this one, I would also recommend including Marcus Janelle, and that's okay. And if March is available, I'll also invite her in, but we didn't need to include any of that in motion. We're good.
Want to make sure.
Janelle, you want to get
Ready?
Yes.
I motion to return to regular meeting.
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We did have some public action following today's executive meeting in relation to the Champ Employee Benefit Plan. I will go ahead and make a motion to cease communication with Champ Employee Benefit Plan Company, Champion, I don't know their actual company name, on advice from attorney-client, from our attorney. Am I saying this correctly?
I think what I'm hearing you say is that based upon the attorney-client privilege communications we just had in an executive session, you are reversing course on the previous public action and voting to no longer pursue negotiations with the Champ plan in relation to plan documents.
So moved.
So you got all that, right, Jennifer?
No, but I'll get it.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
Right, it's just that we've had the evaluation that visited with us previously and given us information, and
We're going to cease those communications. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
we adjourn.
I'll second that. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Aaron, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you a lot.
Good meeting.
Let me get this stopped.
That wasn't bad as you thought. Good job. Good luck.